As life expectancy rises and the population of individuals over age 65 increases, there will be an ever-increasing number of individuals needing treatment and support for serious neurological disorders, such as Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia. Music therapy in general, and rhythm-based music therapy in particular, is a cost-effective means of meeting the needs of these individuals. Participation in carefully planned rhythm-based activities stimulates memory, combats isolation, provides a broad spectrum of sensory stimulation, and promotes verbal and nonverbal communication. As you will see in the next few minutes, doctors, therapists, and family members have all come to realize the important role rhythm-based music therapy can play in the lives of persons with Alzheimer's disease. Dr. Oliver Sacks, noted neurologist and author, whose pioneering work was portrayed in the movie Awakenings, was recently interviewed at Beth Abraham Hospital in the Bronx, New York. He speaks here of the role rhythm plays in encouraging participation in purposeful activity.
If one asks what are the essential qualities of the music, one of them has to be rhythmic force and impulse. Music without clear rhythmic organization doesn't work. I don't think rhythm is the only needed factor, but I think it is a vital one. And in particular, rhythm with its organization and time, I think is what these people need.
Connie Tomeno is the Director of Music Therapy at Beth Abraham Hospital and is on the research staff at the Institute for Music and Neurologic Function. Connie feels that the inherent properties of rhythm to energize and organize make it a useful tool in providing cognitive stimulation and opportunities for improved socialization.
Say if I'm doing a session with somebody with Alzheimer's disease and using percussion, I might use a drum just as a catalyst to maintain attention. So if the person is actively playing, they can't as easily get distracted with something else. So the rhythm, in a sense, holds them in the moment while the music and the other activities are going on.
Rhythm-based music therapy offers family members opportunities to interact with their loved one in a positive, life-affirming way, and replaces communication patterns lost to the disease. Staff are given the opportunity to see residents fully participate without resistance in activities.
What happens for the caregiver, the family member that comes to visit, when they're able to engage with that person in the music therapy session, they're able to have some kind of relationship that they couldn't do without the music. They see their relative acting in a way that they wouldn't normally see them. Most days they might see them just sitting at a table and just perseverating and not even making contact with anything in the environment. But yet in the music group, they would look, I won't say totally normal, but they look like they're really a part of what's going on. I also try to include staff members as much as possible, just because the staff usually work with the day-to-day care of the patients. They might see the patient in a different light than we do because they're dealing with the aggressive behaviors that happen during dressing and feeding, the resistance that people with Alzheimer's tend to give when they're not familiar or don't want to be touched or something like that. What happens in the music therapy sessions, though, is that they see a patient who now is able to function at a different level, who is participating, who's singing, who's paying attention, who's interacting, who's laughing. It's a different persona than what they usually see in the morning or during feeding times.
Lois Johnson is a caregiver and Alzheimer's support group facilitator in McDonald, Kansas. As her husband Tommy progressed through the disease, she struggled with ways to communicate with him. Here Lois describes how she felt once she discovered that Tommy could be reached through music.
But then within a few weeks I sat in on some of the sessions and found that music was able to reach him. They were able to get his attention, and he was sitting still for him, he was interacting, and it was quite a surprise to me. his eyes became more alert and had more awareness to him, and you could just see as the music started to play that he began to focus. And by this focus and by some alertness in his eyes and some expression on his face, I saw some of the Tom that I had had before.
There's a lot of things that we're starting to know about memory from studies that are done in neurosciences. And one of the interesting things is that memories are never really lost at all. What happens is people with Alzheimer's disease, as the disease process continues to progress, that they lose the ability to retrieve those memories. But the memories themselves are there. One of the roles that music plays, because the way the auditory system is hooked up, that sound has an immediate connection to the emotional centers of the brain, and those centers are also responsible for memory, long-term memory. So we have a way with music to tap into like the inner memories, the healthy memories, the things that are still very much stored and not retrievable, but with music you gain access to those memories.
Let's sing that song again. Here we go. Can you shake it? That's a good way to release energy. Can you shake it? You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Over the years, music therapists have observed the benefits of participation in rhythm-based music therapy interventions for individuals with dementia in their clinical practice. To further develop the database supporting these observations, Rhythm for Life received a grant from the National Association of Music Merchants to conduct a research project documenting the rhythm-playing characteristics of persons with dementia. Their findings concluded that persons in late-stage dementia are able to successfully participate in rhythm activities while developing progressively more complex responses over time. These successes depended, however, on the structure and modeling provided by music therapists who were trained to design and implement rhythm applications most appropriate to their limited response levels. In the next two video segments, taped over a 6-week period, notice how the participant is able to play increasingly complex rhythm patterns over time, thus demonstrating that she is capable of learning new tasks while being in the latter stages of Alzheimer's disease. Okay, listen again. Good. Here we go. That was good. Listen again.